Attack on Titan has always been a story brimming with mystery, so we experience most of the show while being in the dark about what we should look forward to and why some people want to side with what seems to be a natural calamity and a zombie apocalypse on steroids. With time, we learn about the Titans, the walls, the world outside the walls, why and how the Titans exist, and what it means for the main cast. Despite getting into the details about several mysteries, there are certain things Isayama kept in the dark. For example, we never found out exactly why the Ackermans did not turn into Titans or what experiments led to them becoming superhumans with minds immune to the Founder's brainwashing. We do believe that it would be better if we knew that, but there are other mysteries that are better when unsolved. Mirror Man falls into this category as he appears in the Lost Girls OVA, and it introduces us to the concept of alternate realities. Back when we would have not even assumed that the story would take such a turn, we do not know who this man is, but he flat out lets us know that it is going to be impossible to save Eren's life. And come to think of it, with the rumbling being the only way to bring the Titan curse to an end, it has to be closed with Mikasa killing Eren. Without the rumbling and without Mikasa killing Eren, he will die due to the curse of Ymir anyway. But why does this man know so much? Who is he? Let's get into it in this video. Who is the Mirror Man? Where does he first appear? The Mirror Man is one of the strangest characters in the franchise. What makes everything about him so mysterious is his lack of presence in the main story. He appears for the first time in an original video animation or OVA called Lost Girls, for the story centered around Mikasa Ackerman. The story for the OVA was written not by Hajime Isayama, but by Ryosuke Fuji. However, it is canon to the manga and its events correlate to the original story. For example, in a separate, more lighthearted OVA, the cadets found out about Jean's mother affectionately calling him Jean Boy, which he considered to be embarrassing. Sometime in the original story, Eren referred to it in order to make fun of Jean. With respect to the Mirror Man and his appearance, we have to go back to the events of the battle that led to Eren's apparent death. While fighting off a horde of pure Titans, Eren risked his own life to save Armin, who got swallowed by a Titan in the process. Armin had to reveal this to Mikasa, who acted calm in the beginning and continued to fight. However, she eventually lost her cool and started to fight without care for her life as she used too much Ice Burst Stone and brute force, causing her to run out of gas while her swords broke. We also got her backstory during this time, which revealed that she used to live with her parents near the hills of the Outer Walls, while Grisha Jaeger was their family doctor. One day, as they awaited Grisha's arrival, sex traffickers came into their house to kidnap his Oriental mother. Mikasa's parents were killed in the process, and with her mother, who was the prime target, dead, the kidnappers decided to take Mikasa instead due to her of being mixed blood. When Grisha reached the spot, he had arrived with Eren, who had not met Mikasa yet. On seeing the condition of the Ackerman household and realizing that Mikasa was missing, Eren headed out to save her. On reaching the place where Mikasa was held, Eren managed to take 2 out of the 3 kidnappers out by killing them with a knife. A third man came out of nowhere and knocked the knife out of Eren's hand while grabbing him by the neck. Meanwhile, a scared Mikasa stood behind a man, unable to do anything until Eren asked her to fight back. Her survival instincts kicked in, helping her awaken her powers as an Ackerman, and then she was able to kill the trafficker with ease, thus saving Eren. Following her getting orphaned, she went on to live with a Jaeger family as she had no other place to call home. Having lost her parents, Mikasa found hope again in Eren as the latter wrapped a red scarf around him. For this, she considered Eren to be her family while loving him romantically. In the present, Mikasa thought about how Eren was dead and her old wounds had reopened. She did not want to start over and go through the same pain of losing her loved one and family again, so she gave up on fighting back as pure Titans closed in on her. Even if she wanted to fight back, there was not much she could do with no gas to propel her and no functional sword. The events of Lost Girls, Lost in the Cruel World, which revolves around Mikasa, takes place right after this moment. Her reluctance towards having to accept Eren's death leads to her shifting to a different reality. With the secrets of the Attack on Titanverse revealed, we know that the paths allow for the existence of alternate realities which can be accessed by both Eren and Mikasa. In this reality, Mikasa acquires her desire to be in a world where she meets Eren without having to lose her parents in the process. We go back to the day when the Ackermans were killed, but in this world, the traffickers were killed by dogs while they were on the way. Meanwhile, Grisha and Eren reached the Ackerman household, allowing Mikasa and Eren to meet each other. The two grew closer as time went by, since Grisha would often visit them since Mikasa's mother was pregnant. From Eren, Mikasa learned about his close friend Armin and the existence of the sea. She also knew about him wanting to join the scout regiment, but witnessing Eren often be reckless and scarred from fights, Mikasa acquired the desire to be by his side. Eren eventually stops being a visitor at the Ackermans following his injuries from getting beaten up. Meanwhile, Mikasa's mother gets a form of infection from which the Ackermans are advised to relocate to Shiganshina and live near Grisha, which gives Mikasa the chance to be near Eren again. On meeting Eren, she learns that the scout regiment had been disbanded. In the original reality, Mikasa had wondered what would have happened had Eren never joined the survey course, and the alternate reality was that the one that took her desired conditions into account. However, Eren still wanted to venture out into the outside world, and for this, he had helped build a hot air balloon with Armin. This was also why he had not been able to visit Mikasa. Eren's plan was simple. 3 days later, on the day of the gate sealing festival at Shiganshina, he was planning to cross the walls with Armin and the balloon. Hearing this, Mikasa asks to be a part of the plan, and Eren wrapped a red scarf around her, advising her to return the scarf to him at the nearby forest 3 days later. He also told her that they would be departing by the third ring of the bell. This leads us to the main event where Mikasa hears the first bell and tries to get through a huge festival crowd and rendezvous with Eren and Armin. However, she is intercepted by a masked man who grabs her as she falls to the ground. This mysterious masked man refers to himself as the Mirror Man and performs as a hypnotist in front of the crowd. His face is covered with a reflective mask, and he carries several daggers in his coat that cause reflections. For his skit, the flamboyantly dressed Mirror Man urges the people to observe him as he promises to turn the girl in front of him, in this case Mikasa, into a murderer. What happens during Mikasa's encounter with him? The events of the alternate reality take place in ways different from what is shown in the original story. However, several key events take place irrespectively. One such key event is that of Eren wrapping the scarf around Mikasa. In the main story, he did so as she was cold and had been orphaned, with no place to call home. In this reality, Mikasa never lost her parents and got kidnapped, but Eren still wrapped the scarf around her in a later scenario when he accepted her request to join him in leaving the walls. These events are similar to the canon events from across the Spider-Verse in the sense that certain moments are predestined to take place in every single reality. The other canon event would be Mikasa's awakening of the Ackerman instinct. Not losing her parents and getting kidnapped also leads to a situation where Mikasa never awakens her powers. So, the Mikasa who is attending the festival is your regular human being who has never taken a life, but that's what the Mirror Man promises to do when he tells everyone that he will turn her into a murderer. Mikasa tells him that she has to go to see a friend, but the Mirror Man does not want to come off as a liar in front of his audience, so he needs Mikasa to comply with him. He also claims that he cannot get it over with by hypnotizing her since it would take more time. The second bell rings and Mikasa grows impatient, but the man tells her that she will not be able to see her friend anymore and that she will be left behind. Mikasa is obviously surprised to know how he knows about Eren and asks him who he is. However, the man tells her that he is no one but can become anyone. Finally, he hands her a knife and tells her that she is lost in this world of her own creation because she could not accept Eren's death. This makes it clear that the death here refers to Eren's death in the main story, which is perceived as his apparent death from episode 5. As the third bell rings, Mikasa realizes that she has missed her chance. She is also sick of the man getting in her way and experiences a surge of power that leads to her killing him with a knife. There is also a loud booming sound coming from the direction of the forest, and Mikasa spots the apparition of a titan for a split second before she runs towards the meeting point. Following this, the Mirror Man, who should be dead after being killed by Mikasa, stands up and shows that the knife is retractable and the blood is fake. However, in this process, he achieves his objective of turning Mikasa into a murderer in front of his audience. Mikasa rushes to the forest and comes across Armin, whom she recognizes at once despite meeting her for the first time. From Armin, she learns that the hot air balloon failed to gain enough altitude and crashed against the wall. While Eren threw Armin away to save him, he himself passed away in the crash. Whichever reality Mikasa finds herself in, Eren's death is meant to be a canon event, and this is what the Mirror Man tries to convey to her in their brief interaction. No matter what she does, she can never save Eren. Her attempts at thinking of realities where Eren did not join the survey course or her parents never died would yield to nothing because Eren is predestined to die. How does the Mirror Man know Eren? Is he Eren himself? The Mirror Man always refers to Eren in third person, but he seems to know an awful lot about everything. We know that with access to the Founder's powers as the Coordinate and the Attack Titan, Eren can not only send his future memories to the past, but also do so across multiple possible realities. This is why the existence of Mikasas' Lost Girls universe is tied into the main story. The real Eren needs the real Mikasa to kill him so that Ymir Fritz can be freed and the power of the Titans can cease to exist once and for all. But she is the person who is technically the least likely to kill him, since a majority of her actions are geared towards keeping Eren alive. In the OVA, the Mirror Man gets Mikasa to become a murderer and kill him, which allows us to assume that it might be Eren traveling to the past of an alternate reality from the future. It is also confirmed that the future Eren can essentially be perceived in the past, which is how Eren was able to manipulate his father into killing Grisha. This is also why certain manga panels from the earlier chapters went viral, as it showed the silhouette of a character who looked very similar to the 19-year-old Eren. This makes us wonder if Eren is the Mirror Man. The latter seems to know Eren and tells Mikasa that Eren's death is certain in any reality due to the Mirror Man's reappearance in the Requiem music video and Eren looking into a mirror in the prison. During his iconic Tatake scene while coercing himself to fight, people have drawn parallels with Eren, motivating Mikasa to fight against the traffickers. The Mirror Man doing something similar to make her a killer ties into all of this because every incident results in the said character becoming more cold-blooded. With him knowing Eren's name and having knowledge of every reality, people have deduced that it may just be Eren himself. Meanwhile, others have thought the Mirror Man could be Founder Ymir, who was peering into Mikasa's mind throughout all these years, causing her headaches. He also mentions how Mikasa cannot be hypnotized, which alludes to Mikasa's Ackerman bloodline protecting her from mind manipulation. And because Eren needs access to Ymir's powers as the founding Titan, it makes sense for Ymir to be able to do it all by herself. Will we ever find out the true identity of the Mirror Man? The Mirror Man continues to be an unresolved enigma in the storyscape of Attack on Titan. The entire story from the episode was hard to understand back in the day, since we could barely comprehend how vast and expansive the world building of Attack on Titan would get. For narrative purposes, the Mirror Man is supposed to be mysterious without knowing his or her identity revealed. Like Eren, who had to convince Mikasa to become a murderer. In the main story, Mikasa was the one who killed Eren in the end. At the same time, her alternate reality version was supposed to kill the Mirror Man, which creates enough of a parallel for us to come up with assumptions. The Mirror Man, despite being interesting, is far from being part of the main cast, which prevents him from experiencing any arc dedicated to him. Marvelous verdict. Despite its harsh and expansive world building, AOT decided to keep several things unanswered, and most of them revolve around the Ackermans. Due to the Mirror Man being far away from the cast of the main story, it is unlikely that we will ever learn the truth about who he is. From our observation, the arrows point towards Eren, who is time-hopping via the pasts and the memories but does not want to be recognized. And with that, our video comes to an end. Who do you think is the Mirror Man and why? How well does the Lost Girls OVA fall into the canon continuity in your opinion? Do share your thoughts with us in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day.